When it comes to classmate relationships, student life may be the most innocent stage of a person's life. At that time, under the protection of parents and schools, with the increasing development of social media and the use of chat tools such as WeChat, it is no longer difficult for us to connect with our former classmates when we hold a classmate gathering. However, yesterday afternoon, Ms. Yang's self-statement, Zhangxian is my primary school classmate and also my hometown. We all read at the primary school at the village gate. At that time, our relationship was very good. As I liked to lie in bed, Zhangxian would come to my house every time before going to school, shout at me at the door, wait for me to get up, brush my teeth, wash my face, pack my things. After school, the two of us either went out to play together or went to her house to do our homework together, until my parents came back from the field. Afterwards, we studied in the same junior high school. Although we were not in the same class, we were still our best friends and would go to and from school together. At that time, if it weren't for Zhangxian calling me every day, rain or shine, it wasn't until we got into a different school in high school that we started to reduce our contact. We only saw each other during the Chinese New Year, sitting together and chatting for a whole day. After getting married, the two of us settled down in different cities, making it increasingly difficult to meet offline. We can only contact each other online to share our work. Marriage. Zhangxian sent me this message to pick peaches. Wrong. Are the peaches in your hometown mature yet? When I was in college, my father planted 3 peach trees in his hometown, right under the chicken coop. Due to my father's careful care and natural fertilizer, those 3 peach trees grew very tall and had good fruit quality. Not only were they rich in fruits, hanging all over them, and the branches looked almost unbearable, they also had a delicious taste, full of water, and crispy, sweet, and delicious. Both relatives, friends, Zhangxian has always been very fond of peaches. I remember at that time, peaches matured around the summer vacation. Whenever we had time, the two of us would climb up the tree to pick peaches. At that time, my parents also know that Zhangxian likes to eat, and every once in a while, they would let me carry a basket and send it over. While eating peaches, they would chat about their own interesting college experiences. When the peaches were ripe last year, she chatted with me, and then talked about peaches. She wrote to me about the fruit shop. Do you know how black-hearted the fruit shop is now? Peaches are not half as big as your family. I bought 5 peaches. After listening to her words, I immediately sent out an invitation to let her go back to her hometown when she had time. She could visit relatives and friends, or pick peaches at my home. My peaches are mature, more than last year, and there is no one in my hometown. My parents are worried about eating too much in the trees. She happily accepted my suggestion. Although it was in text, I could feel her happy mood between the lines. That's great. God knows how much I miss your peaches. Finally, we agreed to go picking peaches together during the Dragon Boat Festival. I told my parents in advance, and they readily agreed. However, by the time of the Dragon Boat Festival, when our 2 classmates who had been separated for many years reunited, when she came, she didn't tell me she would bring her sister-in-law and her children with her. As soon as she got out of the car, she saw me waiting by the roadside to greet her, and greeted me warmly. She held my hand and let me meet her sister-in-law, saying, "This is Yang Rongrong, my good friend. This is my sister-in-law, and she also likes to eat peaches. I heard that I am going to the countryside to pick peaches. I don't know much about Zhangxian's marriage, All I know is that she married a city resident, adhering to the principle of guests being guests. I warmly welcomed these 7 people and prepared tea and snacks that were brought back from the city. We sat for a while, chatted for a few moments, but as soon as I opened the back door and was about to take them to the vegetable garden, I explained, in order to provide better nutrition for the peach tree, my father planted the tree species in the chicken coop, and the peaches produced were big, sweet. But her sister-in-law kept shouting stink and returned to the room. Not only did she refuse to go, but she also stopped the 2 children from giving up, even if the 2 children cried bitterly. I brought Zhongxian and her family of 4 to the bottom of the peach tree. My father had already prepared tools for picking peaches, but before I could teach them how to use them, Zhongxian's husband quickly climbed up and threw the red and large ones down. I called many times to let him choose some that didn't look too familiar to carry, so that he could keep them for a while to avoid spoiling them before they finished. This is nothing. But when I saw him break a whole branch and throw it down with a peach, I felt very angry. You should know that these peach trees are my father's precious treasures. After raising them for so many years, I can still accept a small branch breaking it. But he actually broke the big branch directly, which made me feel heartbroken. I looked at the 5 branches on the ground and couldn't bear it anymore. I quickly shouted, "Don't break the branches." I don't know if he climbed too high to hear or deliberately pretended to be deaf and dumb. They picked 3.5 boxes of peaches before and after, all of which were fully ripe. After eating half boxes, they took away 3 boxes. Just as I was helping them move peaches, Zhongxian pulled me to the door of the chicken coop and pointed at the old hen raised by my parents, saying, "Rongrong, can you sell me these 5 old hens? I really want to drink chicken soup." I felt a bit embarrassed when I heard her words, because these old hens were not originally for sale, but were raised by my parents for the Chinese New Year. However, I didn't know how to refuse her. She was very happy and told her husband. Without saying a word, he took out 2 red tickets and gave them to me, saying they were money for peaches and chickens. Seeing those 2 red tickets, although I admit that peaches are not worth much, 3 baskets of peaches are enough for 200. They returned with a full load, leaving me with a mess and 200 yuan. A week after picking the peaches, Zhongxian sent me a message, praising the peaches and chickens as good. I gave 2 baskets of them to my relatives and friends, who all liked them very much, and the chicken soup was very delicious. Thank you. After thinking about the bad things and the hurt peach trees last year, as well as the 200 yuan that made me feel speechless, I resolutely refused. I will not go back to my hometown this year. My parents should come to see me when the time comes. It's been a while since I received the message, but she didn't send me another message. This morning, I found out that she had already blackmailed me, which made me even more lost and thought, did I do something wrong? Am I too stingy?